Hey everyone, so today we are going to be starting a really big project and we're kind of going to go back to the roots of the channel and do some segmented stuff. So recently the channel hit 1,000 subscribers, which has been a huge goal of mine for a while now. That kind of allows me to become a YouTube partner, and I know what a lot of people are thinking is now I'm just going to go put ads on everything, all that stuff. Well, for those of you that don't know, YouTube will put ads on your videos regardless of how many subscribers or views or all that stuff. So this way, becoming a partner, I at least get to keep some of the revenue from the ads that YouTube would be putting on my videos anyway. So like I said, we're going to be doing a segmented piece, and this is going to be a 1,000 piece segmented bowl. So we'll bring you in closer and kind of go over the design. Alright, so here we've got just a real basic sketch of what this vase is going to look like. The bottom of it is going to be maple and black walnut. These are 3/4 inch pieces, so by the time we get the rings all built up and these sanded down, it'll be a little less, but altogether we're going to have 50 rings with 20 segments per ring. So that's going to give us about a 3-foot vase, I think. So like I said, the majority of this is going to be just alternating between the black walnut and the maple, and then it's going to kind of expand into what's going to be our feature ring. I haven't yet decided what this is going to be, but it's going to be dark and then probably some exotic woods for the diamond stuff. And then in the top, it's going to go back to black walnut and maple, and it's going to kind of fade into the maple like how I did the black walnut blade bowl. So it'll be kind of using that same concept. I've gone ahead and drawn out kind of the different sections. So this is basically what the lower part is going to look like with the black walnut and the maple. This will be our, I guess what we're calling the feature ring. Like I said, I still haven't exactly decided what kind of wood we're going to use for there. And then this will be the blade part, or the top, where it's going to taper back into the maple. So a lot of stuff to do here, so we're gonna do a little math and figure out how big we want this and then start cutting some segments. Alright, so for 20 segment rings we're going to need to cut an angle of 9 degrees, so I've got my compound set to 9 degrees, and then according to some charts from some old projects, I think our first few rings are probably going to be 10 to 11 inches. So I've got my stop block set where it should be. So now we'll go ahead and just cut some segments. We'll need 10 of the black walnut and then 10 of the maple. And we're just going to cut one ring, clamp it all together, and make sure all our segments are good, nice and tight, and all our math checks out before we start really making some more rings. Alright, so this is our first ring from the first segments we did. We were set to 1.75 for the distance for the outer edge of our segment. It was a little bit bigger than I wanted, and we did have a little bit of a gap. It's kind of hard to see, but there is a slight gap. So I went ahead and knocked it down to 1.6 something, I believe, and got a smaller segment. I also bumped in the miter setting just a little bit, and now we have a really nice tight ring. There's no gaps between any of our segments. A lot of people will tell you you need a wedgie sled and a table saw and all that kind of fancy setup to do this. I never use any of that. The blade on my table saw, quite frankly, it just doesn't go tall enough to be able to cut through pieces with a sled on it. So I have never used a table saw, and I have built plenty of segmented bowls using a chop saw, and you can get good results. These are really nice and tight rings. There is absolutely no gap in this ring at all. So for those that tell you you have to do it a certain way, that is absolutely not true. So we're gonna go ahead and start cutting up some more segments for our rings. I think we're probably gonna make about four or five this size, and then we'll just gradually start to move up, and that'll give us kind of a nice tall, slender look to our vase. So we're gonna get cutting some segments, and then we'll probably start gluing these up. Alright, so I've got the lower half of this pretty much built up, and that's from here down here. And what I've been doing is making these in 6 or 5 ring segments and then gluing those together into these sections. Not 100% sure how I want to actually turn this as far as gluing everything up. I think I'll probably mount this to the lathe, turn the inside, and then mount the next one. And I think what I'll end up doing is turning the inside just to a really basic form, which is going to give me the most meat on the outside to do an actual shape to it. I really don't have anything to reach in here once I start stacking these up on the lathe. So I think that's why I'm going to do them in sections like that and then glue the next one on when the inside of the first one's finished. Judging by the picture here, you might notice I kind of screwed my layup up. This was supposed to be 2 pieces of walnut and then 2 pieces of maple, but I went 1 piece and 1 piece. So that might affect the next few rings here, because now we're going to switch to where it goes 3 pieces of walnut to 1 piece of maple, so it's going to kind of fade into the dark before what's going to be the feature ring. So hopefully that still works out with how I did it. I think it probably will, but we'll go ahead and start cutting these segments for those rings now. Alright, so we got our last section of what's going to be the base part done, so we can go ahead and start working on what will be more or less the feature ring of this vase. And I've decided I'm going to use purple heart, some wenge, and then more black walnut. So we've got 60 segments of black walnut cut, and then 60 segments of purple heart, and then 20 segments of the wenge, which will make the little diamonds surrounded by the purple heart, and then the black walnut will kind of be the filler for it. So we've got everything cut. We'll go ahead and start gluing those up. here it is, all finished. The vase is 2 feet and 8 inches, and overall I am just so happy with how this turned out. I really thought I was going to have a lot more problems with this on the lathe as far as the inside or it just being so big and vibrating, but I really did not have any problems. It stayed put on the lathe the whole time, so I'm really happy with that. So yeah,